Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Giving all praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone that rule well and labor in the word and doctrine. Shalom and in peace. May that be unto the elect of the nation of Israel. So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 4. And we'll start at verse 1. It said, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of the Most High, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. And you have to understand, this doesn't just apply to so-called Christians, plantation Christians, because we are the true Christians, the true followers of the Anointed, which is all Christos means in the Greek Christos, or in the English sort of corruption, if you like, corruption of an already corrupt language. Christ or Christ, what does it mean? It means anointed, right? So the true Christians are the Israelites that believe in Yahawashi, who is the anointed one. That being said, of them, and not just of them that are genuinely of the body. Sorry, not just. Ignore that. Let me rephrase myself. Not of the Israelites that know they're Israelites in this time is every single one of them of the Most High. You have people that talk about uniting the nation, how they're not trying to gather the elect, they're trying to wake up the whole nation, wake up the nation of Israel. And yeah, we're aiming to wake up Israelites. I'm personally not trying to wake up any Moabites, but we're not looking for the whole nation, man. And that's the thing that people love to neglect. Why? Because firstly, the more numbers you pull in, the more women you pull in. Also, the more numbers you pull in, the more money you pull in. So people will be blinded by that. The deceitfulness of riches can choke the word, and that can be a stumbling block when people have got even just a little audience. If 10 people put in and pay you money for your soothsayings, for your deceits, and then you're up. At least you're up more than you were before they gave you it. So that's going to be a lot of Israelites. They're just going to use this thing for fame, for reputation, to get women, and that's why certain groups don't touch on the so-called rape doctrine, right? Just the grape doctrine, just to throw that out there, which is not a rape doctrine. It's a Mosaic law, right? It's in the Torah, but people can't break it down. They get offended, they're ensnared, they get stumbled and blocked, and then they end up condemning themselves, through adding to the word and taking away from it. So as the scripture said, you have to try the spirits whether they're of the Most High, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. An elder apostle Tar will often say there's many ninjas, even among GMS. Not just because someone calls themselves, calling on the name, bringing out certain things, you don't know if that's sincere, so you have to try the spirit. Not just because someone said, a sentence, they've been teaching this word for an hour now, they've come in the truth last hour, it doesn't mean that they're going to be perfected. The perfecting of the saints, that's the purpose of the ministry. So it says, verse 2, Hereby know ye the spirit of the Most High, every spirit that confesseth that Yahawashi HaMashiach is come in the flesh is of the Most High. Okay, and you'll have Christians, to go back to them plantation Christians, they'll tell you, yeah, the Messiah came, the anointed one came. They'll say Christ, they'll say Jesus came. Then you ask, well, the flesh that he came in, what color was that? And they'll say, oh, it's not important, but it's a matter of truth, right? If you're if you come from India, you have the typical, so-called typical Indian phenotype, and then I start painting you as a cracker, that's going to cause some issues. It might not be a big deal to you, but you'll still be like, well, that's not true. So how much more so of the Messiah? And now it's not just a thing of, oh yeah, because the flesh is powerful, but again, it's a matter of truth. And the point is that we've been bamboozled, done a number on, to the point where people are favoring certain phenotypes based on the heathen painting in pictures of themselves, in places, extolling themselves in places that they weren't. Okay, the Messiah was certainly not, leprous. And it tells you they did that in the time of the Greeks as well. They laid open the book of the law. Well, that's talking of our people laying it open and looking. Laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint their likeness. So the heathen, the non-Israelites, had tried to paint over the Israelites and paint their likeness on the books to steal the greatness. So it's not such a far-fetched concept, as many people like to make out. But again, that's why a lot of people don't like to deal with the Apocrypha, because there's too much truth that links up, many so-called controversial ideas, which all they are is biblical concepts. Okay, so it says, verse 3, and every spirit that confesseth not that Yahawashi HaMashiach is coming in the flesh is not the Most High, and this is the spirit of Antichrist, right, which means against the anointed, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now is it already in the world. Even now already is it in the world. So I remember, Brother Yahawah can attest to this as well. A couple of years back, when we were all into, uniting Israel, trying to build up the nation, which is completely going off. How does the nation ultimately get built up? Through the preaching of the gospel, that the elect may be gathered, the elect may be sealed, the kingdom comes, the elect are set up in their place, and then the rest of the nation comes back all righteous. Not as wicked ninjas, but all righteous through the loins of the elect. So really, if you want to build up the nation, the main focus should be on the elect, because that's the order that all Israel will be saved, as it is written. I think that's Romans 11 and 26, and that's correct. All Israel will be saved when it's all said and done. But there's a time, like it says, not Sirach, I would say Sirach for Ecclesiastes. Sirach is Ecclesiasticus. In Ecclesiastes 3:1 it says, to all things there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Right, so there's not a time for all Israel to get woken up. That's not this time. That's the time in the kingdom when they come back. Many will be, regretting how they went on in the world, so on and so forth. How does it say? Shame and everlasting contempt. It's talking about people that were ninjas on this side. We're not caring about the Lord. Verse 4, ye are of the Most High, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Let me say that again, Salachia. Ye are of the Most High, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Alright, so greater is Yahawashi. That's how we know that we're of the Most High, and we've already overcome in the Spirit. If we're of the elect, we've won. The elect have already won. It's been set up. We have to remember, we're just playing out the script. The script's being written. The final verdict's been decided. Now it's time to actionize it. So that's what we're doing. And when I say we, I mean everyone on the earth in the flesh. That goes for all nations. They're all playing their part. So some are pawns, peons. Some are kings, some are bishops, some are rooks. Everyone's just playing out their part. Okay. Verse 5, they're of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. So when people are bringing out doctrines that is applauded, especially in this time, pushing away from a so-called traditional sort of world, jokes that were once acceptable are now unacceptable. There was one YouTuber was nearly cancelled. And that just means, a bunch of people get offended about them. He was nearly cancelled because he had a thing called 100 girls versus 100 boys, and there was no 100 gender neutrals, right? So that's a worldly doctrine. So people will speak that, for example, and the world will applaud it. But if you're to bring out biblical concepts, again, they'll get chanted down because they're not the biblical concepts are of the word, not of the world. Verse 6, we're of the Most High. He that knoweth the Most High heareth us. He that is not of the Most High heareth not us. Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. So if people are going to say, well, no, that's, even though people get offended in this time, that's a righteous law. When the kingdom's established, those judgments will be going out. That's a righteous thing. And they're of the Most High. They're operating in the spirit of truth. Whereas people that would come up in opposition would therefore be the spirit of error, the spirit of going off. Okay, verse 7. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of the Most High, and everyone that loveth is born of the Most High, and knoweth the Most High. It speaks also in other scriptures. In fact, let's see if I can find it. Let's see in verse 15. It says, if ye love me, keep my commandments. Right, and that's red letter, meaning it was Yahawashi, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. It said that if you love me, keep my commandments, knowing that he is the word of the Most High. He came in the volume of the book, as it says. What's that? Psalm. It's Hebrews 10, I believe. 10 and 8. Hebrews 10 and 9. Then said he, Lo, I come to do thy will, O Most High. He taketh away the first that he may establish the second. And that's also in the Psalms. Something in its verse 8. It's this. Psalm 40 and 7 and verse 8. It says, Then said I, Lo, I come in the volume of the book, it is written of me. I delight to do thy will, O Most High. Yea, thy law is within my heart. Right, so Yahawashi being that law, if you love him, keep his commandments, him being the law, we strive to keep the commandments. People will say love, 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 and then they'll pick out some rainbow movement. First Peter, Salachi. They'll pick up some rainbow movement vibes, whatever they're doing, and say, come on, man, they're loving one another, you're against love. When you understand this, the concept of biblical love, right? If you love wickedness, does that mean that you're of the Most High? So he that loveth knoweth not the Most High, for the Most High is love. Sorry, the verse before. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of the Most High, and everyone that loveth is born of the Most High and knoweth the Most High. You have to understand it in context. If you love wickedness, you love sin, and you love evil, hold on, aren't you loving? So people can twist this. So what is love? What is biblical love? That's actually a video in and of itself. If you love doing wickedness, it doesn't mean you're of the Most High. To the contrary. So what is love? Verse 9 says, In this was manifested the love of the Most High toward us, because that the Most High sent his only begotten Son into the world, that we might live through him. And that's how we're able to discern the spirit of the Most High and the spirit of error. On to the next one, Lord willing. Shalom.